The White House, as the official residence and workplace of the President of the United States, stands not only as a symbol of power and democracy, but also as a hub of secrecy and intrigue. Vulnerable to security threats, particularly during times of crisis, the need for precaution is evident. Below the ground floor of this iconic building, a network of tunnels discreetly links the White House to nearby locations, serving multiple functions, including security, convenience, and climate control. While speculation abounds regarding these tunnels, with some accounts grounded in reality and others veering into exaggeration, our focus in this video is on providing accurate information while maintaining a delicate balance for national security. Delving into these subterranean pathways only to the extent necessary, we aim to shed light on the real facts behind the mystique of the White House tunnels.
The White House to Treasury Building Tunnel. The White House to Treasury Building Tunnel, one of the oldest and most well-known tunnels, is the one that connects the White House to the Treasury Building, which is located next to the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue. This tunnel was constructed in 1941, shortly after the Pearl Harbor attack, as a way to evacuate the president from the White House to a secure bunker inside the Treasury, in case of an air raid or other emergency. In the years that followed, the tunnel's uses evolved, ranging from the romantic exit of Tricia Nixon after her Rose Garden wedding to more controversial tales of clandestine encounters during the presidencies of Lyndon Johnson and Jimmy Carter. The tunnel's multifaceted history paints a vivid picture of its role not just in emergencies, but also in the complex tapestry of political and personal narratives. Another reference comes from the memoir of William Rehnquist, who served as the Chief Justice of the United States from 1986 to 2005. In his book, Rehnquist recalls that in 1974, during the impeachment proceedings of President Richard Nixon, he was invited to a meeting with Nixon at the White House. Rehnquist writes that he was picked up by a car at the Supreme Court building, which is located near the Capitol, and then driven to a parking garage near the White House. There he was met by a Secret Service agent who escorted him through a tunnel that led to the basement of the White House.
The tunnel originates in the sub-basement of the East Wing of the White House, which was added in early 1940s as part of the renovation and expansion of the presidential residence. The tunnel then zigzags underground for about 761 feet, passing under the Treasury Annex, now known as the Freedmen's Bank, and the Treasury Department headquarters, before reaching the areaway that surrounds the Treasury building. The areaway, which is a sunken courtyard that provides light and ventilation to the basement of the Treasury, contains a hidden entrance to the tunnel, disguised as a steel door that blends in with the wall. Inside the Treasury building, the tunnel leads to a granite vault that was converted into a bomb shelter for the president and his staff. The vault was equipped with furniture, communication devices, and supplies.
The White House to Treasury Building Tunnel is still operational today, but it is rarely used. It is mainly reserved for emergency situations, such as when President George W. Bush was escorted through the tunnel on September 11, 2001, after the terrorist attacks on the Pentagon and the World Trade Center. The tunnel is also occasionally used for transporting sensitive documents or personnel between the two buildings.
The White House to Eisenhower Executive Office Building Tunnel. The White House to Eisenhower Executive Office Building Tunnel, another tunnel that connects the White House to a nearby building, is the one that links the West Wing of the White House to the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, EOB, which is located across the street from the White House on 17th Street. The EOB, formerly known as the Old Executive Office Building or the State, War, and Navy Building, houses the offices of the Vice President, the National Security Council, and other executive branch agencies. The tunnel between the White House and the EOB was built in 1902 as part of the construction of the West Wing, which was designed to provide more office space for the president and his staff.
The tunnel was intended to provide a convenient and discreet way for the president and his aides to access the EEOB, which was then the headquarters of the Departments of State, War, and Navy. The tunnel starts from the basement of the West Wing near the Situation Room and runs for about 200 feet under West Executive Avenue, before ending in the basement of the EEOB. The tunnel is lined with concrete and has a metal door at each end. The tunnel is also equipped with a golf cart that can transport up to 4 people at a time. The White House to EEOB tunnel is still in use today, but it is not as frequently used as it was in the past. It is mainly used by the Vice President, who has an office in both the West Wing and the EEOB, and by other senior officials who need to attend meetings or events in either building. The tunnel is also sometimes used by the President, especially when the weather is bad or when security is tight.
Project CP Tunnel. The addition of the Project CP Tunnel in 1987 adds a layer of intrigue to the story. This 150-foot excavation, connecting the Oval Office to the East Wing, served as a discreet route for presidents during emergencies. During the last days of the Reagan presidency, the Project CP Tunnel was allegedly used in combination with the White House to Treasury Building Tunnel to allow Richard Nixon discreet access to the Oval Office for at least one consultation with Ronald Reagan.
As history unfolds, modern developments such as the 2011 White House Big Dig underscore the ongoing efforts to enhance and modernize infrastructure, ensuring that these subterranean passageways continue to serve their critical roles.
The White House to Capitol Hill Tunnel. The White House to Capitol Hill Tunnel, one of the most secretive and mysterious tunnels in Washington, is the one that is rumored to connect the White House to Capitol Hill, the seat of the legislative branch of the federal government. The existence of such a tunnel has never been confirmed or denied by the authorities, but there are many speculations and theories about its purpose and location. One of the earliest references to a possible tunnel between the White House and Capitol Hill dates back to 1881, when President James Garfield was shot by an assassin at the Baltimore and Potomac Railroad Station, which was located near the National Mall. According to some accounts, Garfield was taken to the White House through a secret underground passage that ran from the station to the Capitol, and then from the Capitol to the White House. The existence of a tunnel between the White House and Capitol Hill is also supported by some former White House employees who claim that they have seen or heard of such a passage. For example, Robert Keith Gray, who served as the Deputy Undersecretary of Commerce under President Eisenhower, said in an interview that he once saw a map of the White House that showed a tunnel leading to Capitol Hill. Gray also said that he heard from a friend who worked at the White House that the tunnel was used by President Kennedy to secretly meet with his mistress, Marilyn Monroe, who was staying at a hotel near the Capitol.
However, there is no conclusive evidence or official confirmation that a tunnel between the White House and Capitol Hill actually exists. Some experts and historians have dismissed the idea as a myth or a hoax, arguing that such a tunnel would be too long, too expensive, and too impractical to build and maintain. They also point out that there are no records or documents that mention or authorize the construction of such a tunnel. Beyond these realities, the White House tunnels have inspired the imagination of storytellers. In movies like Dave, 1993, and Murder at 1600, 1997, fictional tunnels lead from the White House to nearby locations, adding an element of intrigue and mystery to the storied history of these subterranean pathways.
The White House underground tunnels are a fascinating aspect of the history and architecture of the presidential residence. They reveal the various needs and challenges that the presidents and their staff have faced over the years. They also reflect the curiosity and imagination of the public, who have always been intrigued by the secrets and mysteries of the White House. They are more than a physical conduit. It is a symbol of preparedness, adaptability, and the lengths to which a nation will go to ensure the continuity of its leadership in times of crisis. Thanks for watching White House Chronicles. Don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing insights and updates.